Yo, what up, everybody? It's your boy Fitzmonk TV here, aka G-Lawn33. I'm back with another video on the channel for y'all today. And today we got a little bit of some Dragon Ball to talk about. This is a discussion video, so I want you guys to get involved in the comment section. Tell me, guys, what you guys think. And today's topic, we're going to be talking about Gogeta versus Broly from the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. I wanted to wait a little bit before I made this video because, you know, part of me wanted to make this video like 2 or 3 days after the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie came out, but I decided not to because I wanted to wait and let other people, not only here in America, but people around the world, to see it. We're now about to be in March in a couple days, so most people worldwide have seen the epicness that is Dragon Ball Super Broly by now. So now that we've had some time to digest the movie, some of you have seen it, some of you guys have seen it multiple times, and now as we look back on Dragon Ball Super Broly, the movie's legacy and all that it's done for the franchise, I want to discuss specifically Gogeta versus Broly. It was the biggest fight in the movie. You know, Gogeta, the fusion of Goku and Vegeta going up against legendary Super Saiyan Broly. What a smackdown it was. And I want to look at this fight a little bit closely. And I want you guys to let me know in the comment section, where does this fight rank in your all-time favorite fights from Dragon Ball Super or in Dragon Ball in general? Because I know as the years go by, as we see more and more Dragon Ball, people are going to compare other fights of Dragon Ball alongside this fight as well. Alright, so let's get into today's video. So, we had three main fights in Dragon Ball Super Broly. Those three main fights were Vegeta versus Broly, Goku versus Broly, and Gogeta versus Broly. There's a couple of other, you know, you can call them side fights if you want. We had Frieza versus Broly, which wasn't really long. It was more of a gag scene. And we also had Whis versus Broly, which was only a couple seconds, to be honest. So basically we had those three fights, and I can make a whole video, you know, talking about which fight was better. Was it Vegeta, was it Goku, or Gogeta? Well, I think we can all agree on one thing. No matter which fight was your favorite, most of us can say that Gogeta versus Broly, that fight, just based off of the hype level alone, it delivered. Alright? It delivered. You know, they were promoting it as mightiest versus mightiest, Broly versus Gogeta, you know, the most epic Saiyan battle we've ever seen. Alright, first off, if you look at the fight from a time standpoint, alright, I went back and looked at all three fights. Goku versus Broly and Vegeta versus Broly. Each of those two fights lasted about 10 minutes. Alright, very, like, 10 minutes or very close. It was around 9-10 minutes long. Alright, then you have the part where Goku and Vegeta team up to go against Broly. That's only like a couple minutes long. That's why the reason why I don't really include it. And then you had Gogeta versus Broly. Gogeta versus Broly was the shortest of the three main fights. It was only about 7 minutes long. But it's, you know, it's arguably the most fast-paced action we've ever seen. As a whole, this whole movie had the best action we've ever seen in Dragon Ball. And I'm talking about just action alone. I'm not talking about fights, because there's a lot more that goes into a fight other than action. Alright, but in terms of just the action, it was the best action we've ever seen in Dragon Ball in the entire movie. Alright, and then if we focus on Gogeta versus Broly, the fight started off with Gogeta in his base form. He doesn't stay there too long. He's mostly just dodging ki blast. And I wish I could, you know, put, you know, video and other images on the screen to show you guys, but I want to be careful because of copyright issues. I don't want to get in any trouble with Shueisha or Toei. So I hope you guys understand. But, you know, the fight starts off with Gogeta in his base form. Broly's firing ki blast all over. But Gogeta's Gogeta is dodging all of them. And then he just flies away where he transforms into Super Saiyan. And right, the second he turns into Super Saiyan, Broly comes flying in with a huge right hand. But Gogeta's like, okay. He comes right back with a kick of his own. And then they start going at it. Alright, there was lots of cool martial art technique in this whole fight. You know, so you could tell from the beginning of the battle that it was going to be really fast paced. And I really liked that. This was definitely some of the fastest action we've ever seen. Alright, I hopefully one day we could put side by side together Gogeta versus Broly and Ultra Instinct Goku versus Jiren from the Tournament of Power. If you just put those two scenes together, man, like, you could see how fast these warriors were fighting at. It was an astonishing level, and I couldn't believe my eyes watching it in the theater and just watching it back at home, and just seeing them go at it. You know, also we can talk about the environment. All right, we see like a couple of environment changes because Gogeta and Broly's power is so massive that it causes, you know, rifts in time. All right, so the battle starts off on the volcano land. All right, basically we already know. Remember, the volcano land was, you know, formerly known as the Arctic battle. I mean, as the Arctic land before Broly destroyed it earlier in his fight with Goku. Then so, you know, we already seen the land take a hit once, but then Gogeta and Broly are going at it, and they're so strong that their power breaks through the, you know, it breaks through time itself, and then they're fighting in this like colorful, how do I say this, like this colorful cave kind of platform, and you know there's like crystals, and it's really beautiful, and it's like the first time, one of the things that this fight had going, it's basically probably the first time in Dragon Ball history that we've ever seen, you know, two warriors break through time during their battle. The closest we've had to that was Super Saiyan God Goku versus Beerus back at the beginning of Dragon Ball Super in the anime, when their punches were like causing, you know, cracks through the universe. All right, but this was what Gogeta and Broly did. It was on a whole nother level. They legit cracked through time. They were fighting in a different dimension. All right, and as their battle continues, we see Broly power up into his full power Super Saiyan 4. And then we see Gogeta go from Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan Blue. And then they continue going at it, and they clash at each other again. And then they move into this more desert area. Alright, and it looked very similar to where Goku and Vegeta had their first battle all the way back in Dragon Ball Z. And I've been looking at a lot of interviews that Akira Toriyama and, you know, Shintari and Nagame, I've been, you know, looking at a lot of their interviews since the movie came out. And there was a lot of different ideas that, especially director Nagame, there was a lot of ideas he had about the massive fight. You know, originally the plan was for Gogeta and Broly to fight on the sun. Alright, and it would have been a huge tribute to the second Broly movie. You guys remember Broly's Second Coming, when Goku, Goten, and Trunks hit, you know, defeated Broly with the family Kamehameha, which sent Broly flying into the sun. Alright, which would have been absolutely crazy. They could have done that and got away with it. It wouldn't have mattered. But, you know, they decided to, you know, just have them transition to another part of the Earth. And what made it even better is you had Chila and Lemo using the Dragon Balls in the background to make it look more like they were on the sun, which was pretty cool. So the landscape changes throughout the fight were amazing. Not only that, you had the fast-paced action, you had the environment changes, and you also have the epic transformations that we saw during the battle, with Gogeta going from Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan Blue, and Broly going from Super Saiyan to, you know, full power Super Saiyan. Alright, the techniques, there's not a lot of special techniques, or, you know, the reason why I say that is for someone that's not really paying attention. If you're just watching the fight to watch the fight, you may not notice it. But I've went back and seen Gogeta versus Broly so many times that you notice there's a lot of different special techniques that Goku and Vegeta are using when they're forming the Gogeta. Because remember, Gogeta is basically a perfect combination of the best traits from Vegeta and the best traits of Goku. Even Broly has some pretty cool traits, even though he's going berserk as the battle continues to evolve. As we enter into the last stages of the battle, we see also that Gogeta and Broly, they transition from the desert back into where the battle started, back into this volcano landscape. But now everything's almost dark around them. Alright? You could see it kind of looks like the moon, and that it's another thing that Nagami wanted to do. So basically, he had Gogeta and Broly transition from fighting on the sun to basically fighting in the moon. That's why the colors were so vibrant and so, you know, noticeable during this battle. How they start at the volcano land, then how they transition into the dimension with all the rainbow colors, then they transition into like that desert, and then they transition once again back into the normal back into the normal volcano land, but now it's like everything's all dark. So the environment changes are absolutely epic, and it's something we haven't seen in Dragon Ball in a long time, and I really liked that part of the battle. All right. Even though the duration of the fight is not long, it's only 7 minutes. It's nowhere close to like the timing of some of the more epic Dragon Ball fights, like Gohan versus Cell, and Goku versus Frieza, or Goku versus Vegeta on Planet Namek, Piccolo versus Android 17, etc., etc. It doesn't have the time duration, but so much happens during that 7 minutes. Everything that happens makes up for the short time that the fight is. All right, like they could have done, if this was going on TV, they could have done a whole 2 episodes just on Gogeta and Broly fighting alone. All right, it's because for time sync, and since this is a movie, you can't have a super long drawn out fight, and that makes sense. All right, at the end of the day, if you're gonna make comparisons about Gogeta versus Broly and the fight as a whole, I feel like it's fair to say that Gogeta versus Broly, it's right up there with the best fight of Dragon Ball Super. Keyword Dragon Ball Super. It's right up there with the best fights of that series. If you're comparing to the best fights of Dragon Ball as a whole, I don't think it's gonna make it in there. It might. All right. The reason though, the thing that has against it is the duration. It's not really a long fight, so some people might be, oh, it's too short of a fight to be one of the best fights in Dragon Ball history. If you're talking about the whole movie as a whole, because if you think about it, the whole movie is one huge fight, because the last 40 minutes of the film is pure action. If you want to say that the whole fight against Broly, and you could probably classify that as Vegeta versus Broly, Goku versus Broly, Gogeta versus Broly, you can even put Frieza and Whis as the side fights in there. If you put that all in one, if you just say the fight of Dragon Ball Super Broly as one big fight, because it basically is one big fight, starting from when Vegeta first starts fighting Broly to the end where Gogeta fires off that Kamehameha to finish off Broly at the end. If you want to talk about that whole 40-minute span, and if you want to call that, then you have an argument for that being the best Dragon Ball fight of all time. All right, but then we would have to get into a lot of other things. Maybe I'll do another video on that. But if we're talking about Gogeta versus Broly, in terms of Dragon Ball Super, I'm putting it right up there as probably one of the top 3 fights. It's right up there with Ultra Instinct Goku versus Jiren, and Goku, Frieza, and Android Cell Team versus Jiren from DBS 131. Those are the best fights of Super. But in terms of just Gogeta versus Broly against all the other Dragon Ball Z fights, as good as the fight was, it's going to have trouble topping some of the legendary fights from Z and Dragon Ball. That's what I gotta say about that. Other than that, it doesn't take away from how great this fight was and how great this movie was, alright? And definitely, if you guys didn't see the movie, or if you guys, want to relive it, the movie is coming out on DVD and Blu-ray, I believe April 26th, if I'm correct. So make sure to pre-order your copies from Funimation or wherever you get your home releases. Other than that, that's about all I got for you guys today. Tell me guys in the comment section once again what you guys thought of this fight. I'll see you guys later. Have a great day, guys. Peace.